Hello, everybody. Oak Oracles. I'm checking into you. I'm checking in with you. It's March 4th, 2026, and recently we had a live stream with Archangel Raphael here at Patreon. Thank you for showing up, and also thank all of you for being so kind as to not tell me that I switched the new and the full moon around, which I did, and that's not just like poor energy reading. I could also just look out the window. I looked that up, which I of course found out. Seeing the moon being very bright and almost full, though waning these days. So that's kind of a that's kind of a bummer, and I've essentially been feeling this sense of misreading in the way that I do it. That I can do this as an exercise, and I hope you feel that the energy transfers are real, and the intentions and the sincerity is real. But I can also tell that. My intention in doing it is partly that I feel obligated to deliver it, and partly also that I like hanging out with you, like the people that I've connected to and I'm still connected to through this practice. I enjoy spending time with you and making this co-creation, even though I'm sort of making faulty predictions, and I can tell some of the readings I'm doing. For instance, the one I did with Hellas Hands, I was second guessing myself, and thereby also misreading the information. And I've done that in another private commission earlier this year, for instance, where I didn't kind of feel happy or satisfied with the work I was doing or delivering. Um, and one of the reasons I got into it primarily was that I was super fascinated by channeling, and then I became really fascinated also by working with it, and it also paid my bills and something for a while, and sent me out on a lot of interesting adventures. I had so many good things coming from it, but I also really wanted to get something good at something that I saw as rediscovering a type of arcane poetic practice, a form of rhapsody, which had been lost to modern poetic sensibilities, and that was really meaningful to me. But it also meant that I was kind of proud to practice it in a way that was helpful. And I've wound up getting the recognition of people that I admired setting out doing this. Rob Gothiat, the um, E.T. Whisperer, who I very much admired, and his channeling skills setting out, who was an inspiration. Also appreciated some of the stuff I've done. So I know in that way that I felt I kind of fully explored what I was able to do with that, and I actually got really good at it. And then also a lot of my psychological configurations and difficulty in interpersonal interactions, and figuring out what I want to do and how to manage this has been a learning process, which I also feel like has been very hard in general. So all that perambulance is to say that I'm taking an indefinite hiatus from channeling, not from Oak Oracles, working on my stuff, and I've kind of created this imprint as a way to keep working with things. And if I want to self-publish something, I can do it under that imprint. So it keeps going on. And of course, if anybody feels it would be meaningful to have private services, I do offer those, and I'll probably also keep making things as I feel. But let's see what else happens. I don't really want to promise anything, but for the reason that I feel I should take a break from it, is for the same reason that you should probably take a break from anything if you've been doing it for a long while. And even though I've also been a dedicated explorer and acolyte of different psychedelic substances through my young and turbulent through my turbulent youth, I've also taken long breaks from it for years at a time, and I think that that's probably helpful to do with everything. And we'll see how long it takes before channeling draws me back, if anything. But I'm really getting into the written word and editing, so there'll probably be a more of curating the stuff I've also made and serving that up to you. Let's see what happens. But generally, I also want to provide the service, and like calling this an oracle without it being too conceited, at least, is maybe also, doing the service to your life of connecting others to yourselves, which is what I've been hoping to do, and also feel I've managed to do in a lot of spaces and with a lot of people, thank God. For that reason, it, it's hard, because all these entities are not permitted, they're not allowed for, um, yeah, through their code of conduct, to invade your lives. And and for that reason, it's very hard when we get stuck in a place, um, but it's often very much in other places that we need to go and examine it. And Tony has been told constantly, that he needs to go and focus on like psychological and body work. And Tony, dear brother, thank you for being here, but you need to switch off your communications, and sit with yourself, because I'm seeing you standing in your garden, with your cell phone, like caught up in phenomena that you want me to interpret for you. And you need to learn to either connect to them yourselves, or get your head out of like the spiritual headspin, and trying to make sense of it, because it's doing you a lot of disservices. And it has really, brought you to an edge where, uh, it, the solution is somewhere else, than the heavens, and sort of ideas of spiritual justification and cosmic significance, because that's not really relevant to our general conduct. And the challenge is always where we want to look at it. The least I had an unpleasant encounter, what I felt was an inopportune time recently, with Dr. Hoffman's alchemical potion, where it kind of floated into my life. And then there I was, late sleepless Monday night, retching my guts out and going for a walk. And hey, it turns out it's the lunar eclipse, and things are sort of sustained, but it really is a substance that brings you back to the psychological level. And there was a lot of like unpleasant emotional purification there. Um, and I think like sometimes it's the fortune that we get guided to places where we need to go, and other times, we also need to get shoved there. So Jana, thank you for still being here. Like, you need to invest yourself in life. Like, go have some actual real life adventures. Go join a group of people. Trust your own self judgment, or maybe just allow yourself to be a little abandoned. Like, go have some flings with some random guys or something. But at least, like, don't just sit around at the safety of behind your screen, taking advice on everyday things because it's cozy and comfortable. That's not where you need to go if you want to become unstuck, and that's why you're also returning to asking the same questions. Jochen, my friend, like, you need to get organized somehow. I can tell like there's some kind of healing practice or shamanic work or something that's drawing you, and sincerely, with all of you, like, you have my contact info, and feel free to contact me, and I'll also maybe shoot you a line. And I'm starting to maybe go traveling, and leaving the country and visiting Europe for a while, and it would be cool to bump into you in places. So I'm going to a concert in England for a day or two, and also visiting an old friend. I'm not visiting anybody there, but I am getting it's spring here, and I'm sort of getting worked up to connecting to people again. So this isn't the end by any means, but I'm hoping that people that I've enjoyed connecting to, and now I'm also speaking to you personally, Jürgen. Then like I hope this has been instrumental in somehow also making you find your path in your work, because you're, I'm sure, like, have things to offer that are at least as valuable as what you have hopefully been offered by this practice. Um, but I kind of feel like there's a shamanic gift and some organized work there that wants to come in with you, the essence different. Like, you also need to start teaching, and that, I think, is some kind of more philosophical practice. But you not kind of need to start trusting that your path and way of phrasing things, and your very delicate and subtle intuition and thoughtfulness is something that serves people, and to put that out there, and that is what will be the thing that empowers you to step forward. And that's also, yes, ill different, also, like, there's some kind of choice you need to make about what it is that makes you happy, and doing that, and that coming from a personal place, and not from etheric guidance, but from the sort of eternal internal pull you feel of what it is. And if you look at your life, that's where you've been served the best. It's where you've done these things, and it kind of feels involuntary, but it always, the hatchling also always feels involuntary. Like, nobody really wants to be born, but hopefully we're done so in a timely fashion, and received in a fairly kind way by of course, a sort of cold and world full of unpleasant shocks and sensations also. So we also need to kind of find our pleasures where we can, and they are often in simply stepping into what it is we feel we enjoy doing the most. And that's kind of the, like, I've been cycling back to the excitement principle, and feeling that so much of what I'm doing here often not stems from that immediate process of, hey, I'd like to do that, as it did in 2019, when I was producing 2-3 channel videos a day and couldn't wait to put them out there, because I was really into this stuff. And now I'm into other things that I'm really delighted on doing, but a lot of it is about this kind of interactive artwork I call Oak Oracles. And where I'd like to do a lot of other stuff that I'm working on, and it's not all just Koala beams. Oh, how's the song? Koala beams with no, koala bears with laser beams coming at you from Australia. That's the theme song. It's not. It's just it's these random silly things that I actually enjoy, because I feel like the impishness that I also have to my character, to my temperament, is something that I really enjoy exploring, and which is, there's just not really space for it in all the love and light, as wonderful as that might also be in this kind of practice, and that's a way that I kind of draw a full circle. Oh, and yes, and warmth and love to Heather is arthritis also. Last person I felt from the live stream that I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but then I feel that I should also address, because that's living in a both in a body and in a place where joints easily ache. I sympathize. But a lot of that is of course also just like tender nourishment to sort of cope with the fact that we inhabit physical frames, and those physical frames are uh, cumbersome to an extent, and get so often increasingly with age. But hoping we all manage, and also that sometimes there's also a little joy, laughter, and contentment following along, and I'm sure there is. So that's kind of that's the message that I want to give you, and I'm addressing this to the patrons, but I think I might also just put this out on the different YouTube channels now that we're there. Thank you for watching, guys, and um, much love to you. See you around. All my best.